2026 Harley-Davidson Softail Standard SHOCKS. Everyone, is this the last real Harley? The 2026 Harley-Davidson Softail Standard is not just another motorcycle rolling off an assembly line. It's a declaration of war against everything modern motorcycling has become. In an era where bikes are buried under touchscreens, ride modes, traction control menus, and electronic safety nets, Harley-Davidson did something bold, almost rebellious. They looked at the industry and said, "No, let's take it back." The Softail Standard isn't chasing trends, and it's definitely not trying to impress spec sheet warriors. It exists for riders who crave raw metal, mechanical truth, and a riding experience that still feels dangerous enough to matter. This motorcycle doesn't whisper. It doesn't apologize. It doesn't ask for validation. The moment you see it, you know exactly what it's about. Clean lines, blacked out hardware, a stance that feels aggressive even when it's standing still. This bike doesn't need chrome jewelry or futuristic styling to look tough. It wears its toughness like a clenched fist. The 2026 Softail Standard feels like Harley-Davidson remembering who they are, and more importantly, remembering who they build bikes for. At the heart of this machine is the Milwaukee-Eight V-Twin, and let's be clear, this engine is the soul of the bike. This isn't about peak horsepower bragging rights. This engine is built for torque, for feel, for that unmistakable low-end punch that hits you right in the chest the moment you crack the throttle. When you twist your wrist, you don't just move forward, you announce yourself to the world. The sound alone is enough to send chills down your spine. That deep, uneven rumble isn't noise. It's a signature, a warning, and a reminder that you're riding something alive. Every traffic light becomes a stage. Every highway on-ramp feels like a moment of controlled chaos. The Milwaukee-Eight doesn't rush, it surges. It delivers power in a way that feels deliberate, confident, and almost intimidating. This engine doesn't beg you to ride fast, it dares you to respect it. And that's exactly what longtime Harley riders love about it. It's not trying to be refined, it's trying to be real. What truly makes the 2026 Softail Standard dangerous, not just to competitors, but to Harley's own lineup, is its stripped-down design philosophy. No fairings to hide behind. No massive saddlebags weighing it down. No touring comforts pretending this is something it's not. This bike is honest to a fault. What you see is what you get, and what you get is a perfectly balanced cruiser silhouette that looks just as brutal parked outside a bar as it does hammering down an empty stretch of highway at sunset. The blacked-out finishes give it an almost sinister presence. The classic round headlamp anchors the front end in tradition, while the minimalist bodywork screams custom bike attitude straight from the factory. This looks like a bike someone spent years building in their garage, but it rolled out of the dealership like this. And that's exactly why it hits so hard. Harley didn't overthink it. They didn't overdesign it. They just got it right. One of the biggest visual tricks Harley-Davidson pulls off with the Softail platform is the hidden rear suspension, and on the 2026 Softail Standard, it's pure magic. At first glance, the bike looks rigid, like something straight out of the old-school chopper era. But once you're on the road, the illusion fades and the engineering shines. The rear suspension absorbs bumps, smooths out rough pavement, and keeps the ride composed without killing the raw feel riders crave. This is where old-school aesthetics meet modern engineering in the best possible way. You get the visual aggression of a hardtail without the punishment. You get comfort without softness. Harley's Softail chassis proves that you don't have to choose between style and ride quality, and that balance is exactly why this bike is pulling attention away from machines that cost thousands more. Then there's the riding experience itself. And this is where the 2026 Softail Standard really separates the riders from the spectators. The upright riding position puts you in control, not laid back like you're sitting on a couch. The mid-mounted controls demand engagement. The wide handlebars give you leverage, authority, and feedback. This bike talks to you through the bars, the pegs, and the seat. You feel the road. You feel the engine. You feel connected. This is not a motorcycle designed to isolate you from the ride. It's designed to pull you deeper into it. Every corner feels intentional. Every shift feels earned. Even a quick ride to the gas station turns into an experience. This is the kind of bike that makes you take the long way home, for no reason other than you don't want the ride to end. And here's where the Softail Standard becomes a true sleeper hit. Customization. This bike is a blank canvas in the purest sense. Harley-Davidson didn't overstyle it because they expect you to finish the job. Bobber build? Easy. Club-style performance cruiser? Absolutely. Old-school chopper vibes? It's practically begging for it. The aftermarket support is massive, and the platform welcomes personalization like few modern bikes can. That's why builders love it. That's why purists respect it. The Softail Standard doesn't feel like a corporate product. It feels like a starting point. The moment you roll it out of the dealership, it already feels like your bike. In a world where so many motorcycles feel locked into a specific identity, this one stays flexible, adaptable, and deeply personal. Despite its old-school soul, the 2026 model doesn't completely ignore modern expectations, and that's important. LED lighting improves visibility without ruining the classic look. The braking system feels refined and confidence-inspiring without being intrusive. Engine cooling improvements make slow traffic more manageable. Even on hot days, Harley updated what matters and ignored what doesn't, and that restraint is rare. There are no massive screens screaming for attention, no complicated menus stealing your focus, no ride modes telling you how to feel. Just a motorcycle doing what motorcycles were always meant to do: respond to the rider. Harley walked a very thin line here, and somehow, they nailed it. In a lineup filled with flashy cruisers, touring behemoths, and high-dollar special editions, the Softail Standard stands out by refusing to compete on spectacle. It doesn't beg for attention. It demands respect. This is the bike experienced riders gravitate toward, the one that makes sense once you've ridden enough to know what actually matters. It's the bike new riders dream about owning once the hype fades and the love for riding becomes real. This motorcycle doesn't pretend to be everything. It knows exactly what it is, and it does that one thing extremely well: honest, mechanical, unapologetically Harley-Davidson. And that's why the 2026 Softail Standard might just be the most underrated motorcycle of the year. It proves you don't need massive screens, endless electronics, or overstyled bodywork to create something unforgettable. All you need is the right engine, the right frame, and the right attitude. Harley didn't reinvent the wheel. They just reminded everyone why it worked in the first place. So the real question isn't whether the 2026 Softail Standard is good. The real question is this: is this the last true Harley cruiser? Is this the final stand for raw mechanical motorcycling before everything goes fully digital? Watch this video to see why riders everywhere are calling it the purest expression of Harley-Davidson left on the market, and why this so-called basic bike might be the smartest, baddest choice you can make in 2026.